All right. I think we might be streaming now. Yeah, I can see us. So, hopefully people can hear us. Good evening, everyone. My name is Phil. You're watching TFYLP. Today is Monday, April 11th. Should be episode 476. I could say this episode 475 because last week was awful, but hopefully. Oh, and we got an echo, Anna says. All right, so. Echo. Everyone's telling me there's an echo. All right, so Christian, can you talk to make sure people can hear you?
Yep. Hi. Here.
All right, I can hear you, Christian. Can everyone else out there in TFYLP land hear Christian? All right, Peter, you talk as well. You have a name. What's your name?
Fuck cancer.
Yes, indeed. Yes. F that nasty thing. All right. All right. All right. So tonight we are going to be talking about all right. So tonight we are going to be talking about it is April 11th, so next week is tax week. So we are going to talk about the taxation structure on Cybertron and how the increase of property taxes led to the Cybertronian War. So I think it's a pretty relevant topic. And Christian, why don't you get started?
Well, you're not wrong. The increase in property taxes on Cybertron necessitated the lower classes, like the miners, moving out further and further from city centers, creating, general mistrust of the government and bad feelings, bad temperament. It just was a powder keg waiting to go.
So, Christian, you win the improv award tonight for just going off the cuff there. Thank you for that. No, the topic tonight is going to be I Must Break You. And we are going to talk to Peter about how Hasbro has broken him. I shouldn't say broken him, but basically we started to have a discussion last week that I think was a really great one with Peter about how he is changing his Transformers collecting habits pretty significantly. So, Peter, if you're okay, I'd like to kind of dive into that a little bit more tonight.
Dive right into me, Phil.
All right, Peter. So let's set some basics for those folks who aren't as familiar with you. How many Transformers, Peter, do you own?
Individual pieces over 5,000.
How many Transformers-related paraphernalia items do you own?
I include that in the 5,000.
Okay. What character do you have the most of?
Optimus Prime is the most created character.
Okay. So how many Optimus Primes did you say you have? How many doubles of characters do you have? So double, so let's say G1 Optimus Prime is 1. How many G1 Optimus Primes do you have?
6.
Okay. And that's just G1 Optimus Prime.
From various releases, various places, yeah. Not reissues.
Right. Is there anyone that you have more of than G1 Optimus Prime?
No.
Okay. So how do you know where you rank in terms of Transformers? Okay, who else do you have more of?
I have more of, not as many as Rick, not as many. I mean, I've got more Scourges right here than I have G1 Optimus Prime. I've got more Nas from Studio Series 86 and more Sweeps from Studio Series 86 than I have G1 Optimus Prime. So I troop build too. I guess I didn't think about that.
So who's a friend of the show? I'm blanking on the gentleman's name. I saw he has 86 Nas to commemorate.
That's Joe.
86. Joe, yes, Joe. I knew it started with a J. Wasn't sure if it was Justin. But Joe, I saw a picture the other day that Joe has 86 Nas. Studio Series Nas.
And that's just the Studio Series NOS. That doesn't count the Titans Return NOS that he was getting, or Combiner Wars or whatever. It was Titans Return a few years ago. He did the same thing. He has a fish tank, like a 20-gallon fish tank full of the Scout class NOS, which were 4 years predating these Studio Series ones.
So, crazy NOS collection aside, Peter, where do you think you rank in terms of Transformer collection across the globe? If you were to top 10 in the globe,
if Schmax is the way to rate yourself, and I guess the whole Sabertron crew uses Schmax, so good on them. I blow all of them out of the water except for one. That's Scotty. You got to give props to Scotty. He likes to throw his packaging away, but he has more toys than me.
So if you were to put a number on it, where do you think you land?
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay. So how did you get to be number 5? How did you get to be number 5 just by coincidence, or how did you get to that point?
I have an addiction issue, you guys, and a fixation on stuff, and a singular focus when it comes to things I want to be singularly focused on.
So, and that thing was Transformers.
Yes. Recently, yeah. Well, since a long time ago.
Yeah. I just didn't want you to, discuss other things that, you focused on.
Oh, I'm an alcoholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic, you guys. So I can spend more money on robots because I don't spend it on booze anymore, like I did for certain years from X to Y. It's cool.
Yeah. So, Christian, I will bring you in this conversation, and please, if you want to jump in, feel free to do so. I'm talking very loudly because apparently people can't hear me that well, and so I'm just shouting at this like a boomer does at someone who might have an accent. So basically, Peter, you mentioned the other day when you and Christian were talking specifically that you are changing your buying habits. So the number 5 Transformer collector potentially in the globe has said he's going to change his Transformer collecting habits. So what does that mean?
Christian, you're supposed to ask stuff, right? Or am I supposed to? What? Is that for me?
That was your question, man. You're number 5, not me.
I don't know. I buy a bunch of junk like this thing, and you got to buy it in multiple sizes because it comes in multiple sizes, and each one of those things counts as a thing. And that sucks and is boring and it's a waste of my freaking money. And I only have so much space. I moved last year. I am out of space in this house. I bought a ridiculous house and I ran out of space immediately, and that's no fun. And then our good friends from Robots with Coffee, one of the heads of Robots with Coffee was nice to send me a box of GoBots last summer, and it was completely unexpected and it was awesome. And so I got a whole bunch of GoBots and I was like, neat. I have a bunch of GoBots already, but I don't have a lot of these GoBots, and these have card backs and stuff. So I started like looking at my GoBot card backs and seeing what I had and seeing what I needed, and then I started chasing GoBots. And I knew I was going to chase GoBots at some point eventually, and then it kind of spiraled. And then once I was done with US GoBots for the most part, I was like, well, why not check out Machine Robo? Because I was into Machine Robo in the 90s. I liked the cartoon. And so then I started chasing Machine Robo. And if Schmax is any measure of how to do Machine Robo, I'm the number 1 Machine Robo dude. I know I don't have everything, and I know there are people that have like other things that I don't have. But as far as quantity goes, I've got the entire 600 series in the box. I've got most of the Chronos series in the box. I've got a lot of the reissues and repackages and the Winter Robo stuff and the Battle Hackers stuff, and it's all in the box. So my collection went from 0 to bonkers in under a year, and I had the most fun I've had in a long time doing that. And that was granted in a year where I bought a Black Zorak and a Black Shadow and a Cancer and a whole bunch of other nonsense, all the Spark Dash, and it was like I'm having more fun with the Machine Robos because the Transformers were a foregone conclusion. I So it made me think about how Transformers make me feel. And then all the Cyberverse Dinobot stuff dropped. And then more of the Rescue Bots Academy Dinobot stuff dropped. And then the Masterpiece reveals for the last year. And then the Legacy stuff started, like, revealing. And we had Wild Rider revealed today, and he looks great. But it wasn't the Wild Rider we thought we were. The rumor said it was going to be like female animated Wild Rider.
That rumor was squashed within about a week. It was just announced that was sort of a trolling thing.
So this is a Gen 1 looking Wild Rider, and I'm happy that it's Gen 1 looking Wild Rider. I would have been happy with weirdo alt universe Wild Rider, but if you're going to pick one, run with it. If you're going to pick the other, run with it. So now I'm banking on these being all Gen 1 Stunticons, and that's great.
Will be.
Cool. Well, no, there was talk that, Prime Breakdown was going to show up as Breakdown and Combine and all that stuff. I don't know. So I didn't know what to believe, and that'll tell you how far checked out I am, is because I'm not chasing the rumors down. I don't care. I don't care. I have the X-Transbots Stunticons. I have what's been released so far of the Fans Toy Stunticons. I have a DX9 Stunticon set. I have Combiner Wars and Gen 1. I don't have Gen 2. I've got a Breakdown just like everybody else.
Yeah, everyone has that.
Everyone has Gen 2 Breakdown. And then I have the Action Master Gen 2 Breakdown.
Of course,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that's fun. Stuff like that's fun. You know what's not fun? I don't know. Legacy Bulkhead. And
that's the immediate one you go to, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could talk about Cyberverse garbage all day. Please don't bring Bulkhead into this. He's amazing.
Yeah, but Cyberverse had a fun cartoon. What does Legacy have? Something that Netflix passed on because.
Yeah, because the previous 3 shows were terrible.
And
sorry, I said that too quickly. The previous
6
two
trilogies
6 shows were terrible.
There you go. You got to growl it.
I gave you that one on the last word.
So yeah, there's no show, there's no fiction. The comics are being canceled. I don't think they're going to do anything interesting or fun with Gen 1 in the future. Movies are going to continue to be the movies. They're going to continue to suck. The Beast reveal, the Rise of the Beast reveals didn't excite me. The Earthspark stuff, I'm sure the cartoon's going to be fun, but I'm also sure the toys are going to be chunky and gimmicky and kid-friendly and lame. And like I said last week, that's good for kids. That's the target audience. Do the thing. I think I might have aged out. And it makes me sad, but it also kind of excites me because I've heard so many good things from, like, Rob, who, when he decided that getting all the things wasn't what he wanted to do, he felt a lot more free and a lot more like huzzah. And I want that, because feeling awe in the thing I love is more important to me, or I think it might be more important to me than feeling beholden to staying current with things that I'm not cool with. There's merch that I'm just so mad at. I'm looking at my boxed Robosen, the first version, and now I guess we've got 3 more dropping probably tomorrow for reveals. We're going to have a Bumblebee with Dan Gelvesen's voice and a couple others, which will probably be redecos. It'll be like, ooh, we got a Nemesis now. Or I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't care. I'm not getting them. I don't care. And that's where we're at.
And this is the third Horseman of the Apocalypse that Peter has stopped buying every Transformer thing ever. So this is we're close to the end here, ladies and gentlemen. Say goodbye to your loved ones, hug them closely, and just pray it ends quickly. No.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So Peter, this is obviously a big change for you. And Christian, you went through a similar change a couple of years ago in terms of your buying habits and everything that you were doing. You were collecting more heavily. So what was the story behind your change? Was there a toy or a line that was an impetus for you?
Lucas yelled at me one time. It started a chain reaction.
Do tell.
On a after show tour around my former apartment, he saw that I had my glass cases well lit and filled with all my favorite classics and generations figures, and then I had my masterpiece Autobots on an unlit shelf somewhere else, just kind of tossed on there. And he's like, "Why do you have your expensive stuff like that and your normal retail line stuff like that?" And I was like, "Oh, probably because I actually care about mainline stuff a lot more than Masterpiece." So I essentially just quit Masterpiece. It wasn't that big of a deal. And then I put myself on a budget and was still able to get all I wanted, so it's all fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. Peter's is, I think, a more monumental shift than mine was. Mine was just a refining of what I do.
And so, Peter, just to be clear, you're not...
Peter, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It doesn't sound like you're totally getting out of the game. We were talking right before the show started that you want a new Armada Demolisher. And so if they announce tomorrow that they're doing a new updated Armada Demolisher, I'm assuming you're getting on that pre-order.
It depends on how he looks. If it's Armada Demolisher in name only, and it is the mold from Energon Bulkhead with some missiles on the shoulders, or not Energon Bulkhead. Oh, shit! It's Energon Bulkhead. It's a helicopter guy with missiles on his shoulders. And it's like, oh, I'm totally Armada Demolisher. I'm not buying that shit. I'm tired of buying useless in-name only repaints. I'm tired of buying remolds that aren't quite there. I'm tired of all the incremental stuff. I'm tired of rebuying the same things over and over again, because if I try to sell stuff, everybody's selling the exact same thing that I'm trying to ditch, because we're all moving that same increment up. It's a loss. It's a lost game, and there's no fun in it. And I hate dealing with crowds and people. And I love going to shows. I love going to Transformer shows. But if I were to sell stuff locally, I gotta hang out with non-Transformer people, and that's not my crowd. Yeah, I don't know. I'm an old curmudgeon, and I think yeah.
Will you also still hunt rarities, like really obscure, weird stuff?
Fuck yeah.
Like the thing I showed you earlier that I'm going to talk about this week on OOF on Thursday.
Yeah, I need that now.
There's going to be an OOF on
now that
Thursday?
I know it exists. Yeah.
That's kind of a prototypical plan, yes.
Okay, nice.
They're doing the round robin reveals thing.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. I thought Paul was doing an OOF.
Too bad. We're doing it. You stole his show.
Paul's been teasing a big OOF for a few weeks now, and
Oh, right, he does have that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways.
I have to reference a thing that was super rare that I can't say on there yet, but
right.
Peter knows what it is. Like weird, crazy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That weird, crazy thing. Well, first, Peter, let me say that I'm proud of you. I'm glad
not doing this. Kudos or accolades or anything. I've got a problem, and it doesn't take a DUI or a really big series of bad nights for me to try and get a wrap on this. This isn't the first time I've quit either.
That's good. Yeah, I'm glad that it didn't have to be a monumental event. I'm glad that you're just trying to shift up what you do to get more enjoyment out of it. That's what this is for. I don't think anyone should be beholden to their collection. Not really.
I love the dead silence in a podcast, and for those of you who are just listening, Peter's making a very interesting face, a very knowing face, to which basically is indicating that Peter fully is aware that he's beholden to his collection far more than he'd like to be.
And we know others who are in the same boat.
That as well. Yes.
We do.
Can't stop, won't stop, no matter how many times we tell them to stop.
I'm not stopping because anyone told me to stop.
Oh, no, but other people...
Super clear on.
Yeah. No, Peter, you're your own dude. You're not going to stop unless you decide to stop, no matter what Christian, myself, Lucas, Anna, Rick, Nick, anyone says to you. I think there's a very smallest people that would be like, Peter, you should stop. You're like, dude, you know what? You're right.
My family, they didn't ask me to stop,
Yeah.
I've got a house with peoples that live here, and I take up so much space. God damn it, I take up so much space. And we moved in here, and it's like the house was a big house, and the infinity closet fits in here, but holy moly, I don't know.
So are you saying that we can sue you for false advertising, that the infinity closet is not actually infinity sized?
Oh, I mean, I can continue. I can go rent more storage units. Those are infinite. They keep building new ones. I don't know if it's like that where you guys are. They keep building new storage units.
They do. Here. Yeah, you're right.
There's big fortress ones.
They're building one on my drive home from work, and it is like this big giant brick building that probably would be a good place to take shelter in during a tornado.
I'm convinced that when it's time, and this is a joke for listeners, when the government comes and gets us, I'm using my air quotes, they're just going to house us all in storage units. It's going to be a good
Maybe
time.
That's when the alien overlords will appear to us and put us all in bins in the storage units. And we are actually the collectible items.
Yay!
You're a first edition Peter, you think?
I've been told I'm quite a catch.
Yeah. It's going to suck when you realize that you're a knockoff repaint.
I know my dad, and I totally am.
All right. So...
Oh, man, I always say I'm discount Destron. I'm a knockoff of Peter. I'm worthless now. Gosh, that's not great.
I just happily showed off a knockoff over here. Knockoffs are collectible.
Vintage knockoffs are collectible.
Think so. Well, I guess I'm old now, so maybe I'm vintage.
We've got a buddy of mine is down in Mexico and is texting us pictures of the new knockoffs he found. He found a red Venom toy that looked quite interesting. Wasn't Carnage. It was definitely Venom. It was candy apple red, and he bought it. So, and a pretty large Godzilla knockoff that was like 60s era Godzilla looking toy. So, yeah. So Peter, what would you say if they were to come out tomorrow? You would be like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm going to buy that.
I'm gonna buy Kickback when I find them.
Okay.
That's the other thing. I haven't hunted. I haven't gone out looking for anything. I ran into Laser Prime and Galvatron like when they first started dropping 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh, there they are. Cool. And I kept on walking. I found Kingdom Hot Rod today. Multiple Kingdom Hot Rods today? I don't know. I thought that was one that was going to show up at Ollie's in 3 years, but I found one. It was $6, so I got it. Because the base is weird about pricing and availability. Who knew? I knew. But so I got that. And I don't know. And I only got Kingdom Hot Rod, even though I know he's coming out in Legacy, because I told myself I was going to finish Legacy, finish Cyberverse, and I think that was it. Oh, and finish BotBots, because I already started BotBots. But Rise of the Bests, Earthspark, Legacy, and anything that and Masterpiece, anything that comes after, it's if I want it, I'll get it. If I don't, like I have doubles of everything that I've opened for the last 24 years, at least doubles. And that's fucking ridiculous. Takes up a lot of space, and I don't throw away packaging like a lot of people do. Everything is packaged in shipping cases, in totes, on storage racks, under lock and key. It's expansive.
do you see yourself doing a purge of some of the things you currently own?
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe. If I do, I'll pay off this house.
I didn't say purge everything. I'm just saying, like, you're like, oh, yeah. The, Power of the Primes wave toy line, that kind of didn't wow me. So let's just get rid of at least my doubles of those.
First thing that's going to go is all of that movie junk. The first thing is all of the movie junk. Buy movie junk. You just take up space, and I don't like you. I don't have any of it on display. It goes away. There are a couple of loose pieces that I enjoy, and they will stay. But they're like Cogman, But buy them and because I have Cogman, I've got Revenge of the Fallen, Megatron, Nitro Zeus. I've got the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron with the upgraded arm kit from, who was it, Alien Attack or Alien or some back in 2011. Someone made a kit to make his arm not tiny little whatever arm. So I've got that. I've got a decent Prime, decent Megatron, just core character type stuff. But there are so many scratch, sword, flip, flop, Bumblebee now with laser bloops or whatever. And I don't care about any of that.
It's pretty accurate.
It's all awful. This one's half translucent. Okay. It's 100% crap. All those battles for the spark and spark power and activate the all spark action flash stuff now with cube pressing power, and no, I don't care. Gotta go. If anything goes.
What would stop you from letting go of that?
Anxiety. Like I do have FOMO real bad, and I do have addiction issues real bad, and I don't want to see my numbers go down. I don't want to go from, because right now I'm not even actually number 5. But if you take the 2 counts from because I have 2 accounts, because I made a new account and started doing counts, and as I counted them on this account, I took them off of this account. So what's on this account isn't on this account, and what's on this account isn't on this account. So if you add them together, I'm like number 5. So I don't know. And I beat out everyone that I'm not keen on. Yeah. So I don't want to see my numbers go down, because then they'll be like, oh, he's a quitter. Oh, he did this. No, he did that. And I got this and that. And I know more about the fiction than you. I'm better at this than you. I had more than you. I won. And then I retired on top. Anyway, but that's just me being again, anxious and bonkers.
Yeah, I will say.
So nothing would keep me from.
Yeah. Tiger Woods on Saturday was not that fun to watch. Washington Wizards Michael Jordan, not that fun to watch. So if you do retire, stay retired. Kiss has had 20 going away tours and
farewell tours.
They subsequently get worse. So, Christian, you and Peter were talking about this a good amount last week before we got on air, because I was inept at getting us on air. So how was your reaction to all this? You've known Peter for a good number of years. You've known his collecting habits. What was your take on all this?
I'm just happy Peter's happy. He's always seemed happy to get stuff, to find stuff, to collect things. It's never seemed to have brought a burden into his life, or at least a large burden into his life. He's never seemed to hate it, never seemed to rail against it. And I think he's transforming the way he views his collection. And I think that's great.
And how did you feel after you switched your collecting habits?
The same.
Okay. What about any FOMO? Has that popped up for you?
No, I mean, if there's ever a piece that's outside of my purview that I really do want to get, I'll go ahead and get it. But in my experience, even when I get those pieces, it's like, doesn't really fit with what I have. So they sort of quickly rotate back out. It's nice to have.
And
it's not that I can't get anything. That's not the rule. The rule's not, you can never do this. It's, I prefer to do this, and I prefer it to cost this. And when not, like, make other plans or whatever. But guidelines are good.
We have a friend in the group. We have a private chat, and he routinely will buy a whole bunch of stuff over the course of 3 months, 4 months period, and then month 5 he purges all of it. Whoop, and we call it the rentals. It's like, oh, he's renting stuff again, and I don't want to name him because he's friend of the show, but hasn't been on. I don't want to name drop. But yeah, he'll buy, like, now I'm gonna get all of the 86 type characters, and he'll buy all of them. And then, okay, I'm done with these, and they're gone. And that's just the way he's operated since 2013 or so, for a long time. Yeah. And more power to him. Like, that takes so much discipline and so much control and so much I admire him for it. And then there's people that, we buy everything, and it's just like, I don't know. I want to enjoy the stuff I have. I want to display my G.I. Joes. I bought a box of G.I. Joes from this dude that I know, and I haven't had a chance to go through them yet. And I bought them specifically because I'm going to display some of these because it's great. And I haven't even, like, cracked the box because my brain is fried on Transformers. Just piles and piles and piles of Transformers. Ugh. It's no fun. So, I don't know. Maybe this won't last, and maybe I'll panic buy everything in a year.
I hope you don't.
I hope I don't. I hope once because this room is my class gen room. So I'm gonna have 84 guys and 85 guys and 86 guys and 87 guys and 88 guys and 89 guys and 90 guys, and then, like, the later weirdos, and then the G.I. Joes will go somewhere. We got to figure that out. But I've also got full runs of the original Motu line, and I've got full runs of Mask, and I've got full runs of Machine Robo and most of the GoBots, and I've got other stuff. I've got so much freaking stuff. And yeah. What if I'm out of space? It's pretty cool.
The piece that I keep coming back to for my own life is, I think what we've been getting in War for Cybertron and Studio Series lately for G1 are the toys that I've been waiting for this whole time.
They're the tops. I joke about. I joke and I don't joke about the incremental improvements. There will be a Galvatron that's in that movie blue color.
Sure.
There will be a Galvatron in the gray color without the blue head crest or purple head crest or whatever. There will be a Cyclonus in his Armada colors, and there will be maybe a Negative Universe Killing Jar episode box set.
I'd get those.
I'd get those. Yeah, that'd be great.
But, like, for a lot of characters, like, well, I'm gonna give Trailbreaker and, like, Sunstreaker and Huffer the spotlight here. Like, I don't think I need another version of those guys, at least not the G1 versions of them. If there's, like, a significant version of those characters in a different universe later on down the line, maybe. We'll see. But if, in theory, these are the tops and these are kind of like where I'm stopping, because I don't feel like I'm stopping everything, but I feel like I can be less involved by characters I don't have or by true, real upgrades, then why do I still have other things? And that's the piece I keep coming back to. And I don't know, maybe I'll sell a bunch of stuff at TFCon this year like I did last year. That was cool. Maybe I won't. I don't know yet. I've got 6 months to decide. It's just an existential crisis I have about every 3 months. It's like, I've got so much on display, and I've got even more in storage. And it's nowhere near approaching Peter's, but I probably got 1,600 pieces or so, something like that, which is still a lot.
That's a lot.
A 2-bedroom apartment. It's just like, well, if I'm displaying, maybe a fourth of that at best, probably more like an eighth of that. Do I need the other pieces? I don't know. I'm working on it.
Peter, you had to skedaddle last week kind of early, and I don't remember if we got this discussion in the podcast last week, and we were having tons of audio issues. But there was a discussion that we kind of brought up, and I think surprisingly, it's the first time I realized it, that starting with Generations, we started to get what at the time was the best new version of G1 characters. And once you get a new version of a G1 character with modern engineering and design, why do you need the last one? And I think the answer for a lot of us is we didn't. I mean, we needed the first one. We needed the original G1 toy. And all right, well, Armada Ironhide is really, really different, so that doesn't necessarily fit or count. And animated Ironhide is a totally different aesthetic, so that that can be its own separate thing. Same with movie Ironhide. But then once you get sort of like the, if Earthrise Ironhide is your dude, once you get Earthrise Ironhide, why do you need Generations Ironhide? Do you need Generations Ironhide anymore? And I think that's
Henke or United or the 3-pack, right, or
that mold, whatever version of that Generations mold, do you need it anymore? Because it's outdated now. And I think that's...
No, I for my display, absolutely not. Unless it's because I'm going to have an IDW shelf.
Yeah.
In this room, and I'm going to need my MMC guys as representations for their Lost Light looks, and then like Swerve as an example. I've got the was it Make Toys Swerve from the 2-pack with the Cyclonus parts, right? No, it was Swerve and Gears, and then tailgate and Cyclonus.
Tailgate and Cyclonus, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I've got the tailgate and I've got the Swerve from those various packs, and they're going to go on the IDW shelf over Chan. Whereas my, when we get modern, when Hasbro gets off their duffs and makes a Gears and a Swerve and a tailgate and a wind charger in that modern, slightly smally deluxe aesthetic, they'll go in the 84s and 86 shelves, respective to whoever they are. So yeah, for like different universe peoples, different whatever, yeah, they're gonna get multiple versions. But that year, was it 2008? Yeah, it's 2008. Generations. Was it Generations?
Universe 2.
It was Universe 2.0. Thank you. That Ironhide, no. That Ratchet, no. The United version and the Henke version, no. Nope. Those are gone. They go in the retiree box and those get sold. And at some point, someone will want them. My Earthrise Ironhide had a manufacturing defect, so he can't go into van mode. So he's stuck in robot mode, which makes me sad.
It's a hard toy to replace.
I mean, he's replaceable, 100% easily replaceable. It's just, do you want to pay that much to replace it? And then what do you do with the one with the defect? Do you sell it? You can't. You won't. You certainly won't make your money back. Burf.
No. So when you look at the leaks that we've seen for Rise of the Best, I'm assuming that just made you feel nothing.
The last several movies have made me feel pretty nothing. Bumblebee, I had high hopes for with regard to Shatter and Dropkick. And Bumblebee's finally a Volkswagen, and that's great. But then they didn't even come out in the Bumblebee line. They came out 2 years later in the Studio Series line, each of those, The Bumblebee line was 100% gimmick chunk kid-friendly bots and didn't sell that well. I mean, those languished on store shelves, and then they all clearanced out, and I scooped them on clearance. Mine. And, yeah. So, incidentally, talking about Bulkhead, that little fast action battler looking Prime that they previewed with the that leak, looks like Bulkhead might be a pre-tool for that, as opposed to Pyro or whoever else. And if that's the direction that the line's going, I'm not saying it is, I don't know, but if they're doing that, and they should, they need to change the lineup. They need to do something with the movie line. They need to do something with the Generations lines. They need to do something. I love it, what we've been getting as far as Generations goes, but oof. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old and grumpy. 100% I am, but yeah. I don't know. Robots.
See, Earthspark, I'm not. The new image we saw of Earthspark is interesting. Those bots look better than some of the previous shots we've gotten. I'm interested in that because I want kind of what I'm hearing. One of the underlying messages that you're saying, Peter, is we haven't gotten really great fiction to make me want to get any of this stuff. And so my hope is that we will get some new fiction in Earthspark that will, somewhat pun intended, spark me to want to get new dudes, or spark designers to make new versions of characters, or spark designers to give us the next Windblade, give us the next Drift, give us the next, you name it, the next Lockdown.
When was the last time we got a Windblade? Cyberverse had a couple, whatever, and when was the last time we got a Windblade in the main Generations line? When was the last time we got a Drift?
Yeah.
Drift was 2010.
Yeah. That was it. We got the movie Drift 4 years later, and that, no.
And the Robots in Disguise Drift, which is also not the same dude.
Also, no. Yeah.
Cyberverse Drift, which, yeah.
Yeah. Still no.
Although they also did do a Cyberverse Deadlock, which was kind of cool. But no, I know what you're saying.
Like I said earlier, Earthspark, I'm sure it's going to be a fun cartoon. Nickelodeon's done, with the exception of the most recent Ninja Turtles, they've done really well with their in-house produced stuff. Yeah. So I have no doubt that the series is in good hands. I'm going to watch the show, but do I expect the toys to be Generations? No, I shouldn't realistically at all believe that, because they're not Generations toys. Similarly, I don't want to buy Bumblebee, Elita 1, Optimus Prime again. Now, weird hover arms individual and bike thing, I don't even know. We don't know names. It looks like there might be a Master Force thing going on with the kids. Their Earthsparks controlling the robots. I don't know. Because on the most recent image that we've seen, the kids have little sparky things in their wrists, and it seems like each kid is representing a robot, and that's cool. Master Force is like my favorite Japanese Gen 1 series. It's just a lot of fun. And to have kids in control of, super fighting robots, super Choroboto Semitai, super robot life forms, that's great and a lot of fun, and it'll help get the kids into these alien monsters, as opposed to alien monsters just fighting around kids and kids reacting to them like the goofy kids from Prime or whatever. Yeah. But I don't think it's gonna make one.
So you like Silas and Transformers Prime then?
I liked his voice.
Oh yeah. Who doesn't like Clancy Brown? If you don't like Clancy Brown, then just I don't want anything to do with you. He's not.
I dress up like Kurgan on weekends and chase the kids around the house.
He's not voiced anyone in the movies, right? I feel like he should be doing a Transformers movie character voice.
I don't think that he has. And if he did, it was like in movie 2, he was grunting Decepticon Troop number 7.
Yeah. It was one of the Constructicons that had half a line. Yeah. He wasn't, as far as I know. So,
guys are so grumpy.
All right, so tell me more about that, Christian.
I don't know. You just seem unwilling to accept anything outside of G1, which I know is not actually true, but that's how it's coming across. Like, I think Cyberverse is garbage and you don't, but like,
I love Cyberverse.
I kind of like movie toys occasionally. We'll see. The Rise of the Best Sleeks did not look super, but one is a kiddie toy and one was unpainted. So like, it's too early to judge.
Or was it?
That's the fear that was.
Then it is
how it was painted. Yeah.
Like, I think there's always stuff to look forward to. I mean, Earthspark, Peter, you're probably right. The toys will probably not be great, but the Cyberverse ones weren't either, and Robots in Disguise were kind of okay. And then, like Prime was designed for like collectors to have, and that was great. But that's also been nearly 10 years ago at this point. So like
more than 10 years ago at this point.
The toys were later.
Still more than 10 years ago.
Cool. I don't know. I graduated from college 10 years ago. I don't know what happens. I've been busy trying to exist. It's been a busy decade. So, like, I'm always looking forward to seeing new stuff. There will always be something that'll be like, oh, yeah, Transformers is inventing itself and doing new things. But it doesn't mean I have to buy it. It just means that, like, it's kind of neat. Just because I don't like Cyberverse doesn't mean I don't think it should exist.
Right. I'm not saying none of this. I'm not saying at all that they should stop making Transformers because I'm taking a step in a different direction. I am not saying that. I said before, I think we led last week with, I think Earthspark is going to be a fun cartoon, and it's great for kids, and they're going to have fun, chunky toys that kids are going to buy. And then I repeated all that this week, and I believe that. If the line is going to continue, they need to keep moving and having whatever, like, I don't know, spark action, flashy flash, pop action, whatever. That's not for me. I'm so tired of buying robot fast action battlers and robot replicas and whatever else nonsense that's taking up space on the shelves that kids weren't buying.
Good, don't. I'm glad you're done. I'm glad you're out of that.
Yeah.
I think it's
that doesn't make me a grumpy old man, because I want the line to continue, and I am fully for robot heroes and big chunky robots that kids like just smash together and have fun with. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, and they just, Bumblebee turns into a dinosaur this time, whatever, go fight the Gorilla Man or whatever. I don't know. Kids are rough with toys. Kids can be rough with toys. My kids are not. The end.
All right, Christian, when it comes to the movie stuff, I'm not I know I'm a grump, and I know I make fun of the base stuff, but like you said, there are things that you bought that you think look cool, you have them for a while, and you realize they don't fit in your collection. I feel like that every time I get a movie toy. I like it, it looks neat, and then 6 months later, I'm like, I've got other stuff that I like better, and the movie stuff is now... Like Studio Series Grimlock. Age of Extinction Studio Series Grimlock. That's an awesome toy. It's a sweet design. It's a big toy. I don't have a ton of shelf space for it.
Could you try again?
Okay. Apparently Siri thought I was talking to her. So, and now that's in a bin. Same thing with Scorn, the Spinosaurus, the oversized Spinosaurus. Freaking awesome. I love Spinosauruses, but it just doesn't fit in what I want to display. And I'm not saying I want to get rid of it. I'm not saying I want to sell it. Maybe and my wife keeps encouraging me to change up my displays here and there, and that's something that does make a lot of sense. It just is, it's not one of those things that I feel with what I want to put up, and display for my collection, it doesn't fit into there. So, it's I think changing up displays is something I would recommend for anyone who is starting to run out of room. It can give you appreciation for toys, and I've done that a few times when I first started joining the cast. We'd have different topics, and I tried to change up the toys that were behind me. That was a lot of fun. And then I just got overwhelmed with a ton of stuff and stopped doing that. So I want to get back into that. But, this is a brand that's been around 40 years now. Not everyone is going to like every iteration. And for those of us saying we don't like certain iterations doesn't mean we're grumpy. We just know better about it than you, Christian, and you'll eventually realize that. I'm kidding. It's a brand that, like any brand, keeps wanting to change and keeps wanting to update to stay modern. Sometimes those new modern iterations are fun and exciting. Sometimes those new modern iterations seem crappy at first and then they grow on you. And sometimes those modern iterations can just, be kicked in the trash.
Sometimes they're awesome and kids reject it outright, and then they just don't do anything with the property ever again. Thundercats.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it just becomes a collector's only line that is run by a toy collecting company. And that's kind of not bad sometimes, because then you get a really cool version of that and you pay a little bit more, but then it's just like, do I ever need another Panthro ever again? I don't think so.
Once you have ultimate Panthro, ultimate is, I mean, that word means something.
I mean, I get it that's just a word, but I don't know what more I would need beyond the Super 7 Ultimate Panthro.
You don't. And that's where Motu was up until, I don't know, 4 years ago when Mattel just started throwing everything at the wall. Like after Classics ended and Super 7 retired their Filmation line, I was like, well, that's that. We did it, guys. High fives all around. We won. And then it was like, no. We're going to redo all of it all over again in multiple scales and multiple lines and multiple play patterns. And do you like Lego? Here's some Motu Lego. You like kitty stuff? Here's some Motu. You like Hot Wheels? Here's some Motu Hot Wheels. And it's like, wait, short circuit. I'm done with Motu now.
I do want the Battle Cat monster truck. I have sought that out a few times. Just for the niche of it. I got a buddy who's big into Back to the Future, and he was very excited the other week. He found the monster truck DeLorean. It's a thing. A Hot Wheels monster truck DeLorean. It exists. So, and I think that's kind of what we're getting now. It sounds like with some of these chugs, generations, these quote-unquote mini masterpieces, is we are getting kind of pinnacles. Or at least a big enough pinnacle that, you know, when you do G1 so much, you're going to redo these characters. And it's like, I don't need the previous version because you just outdid yourself. So do I still need Titans Return Bumblebee?
But I'm still not done with Bumblebee. There's a case in point right there. Is the Walmart Netflix Bumblebee looks great. Fantastic mold, fun transformation. He's movie Bumblebee color. He's the wrong color. Then they released the buzzworthy Bumblebee in the right color with the Cliffjumper mold. What are you doing?
There's a licensing thing problem there.
I know there's a licensing thing. I know that. I know the reality.
You're right. You're right.
I know the reality of the situation. I know that and I know that they know that too. That if we just release the Volkswagen Bumblebee in the wrong color, everyone's going to buy it. Everyone's going to buy it, and everyone did. But when we release it in the right color 4 years from now, when we've run out of things to do with Bumblebee for the time being, which they won't, everyone will rebuy that. So now we have 622,000 Bumblebees each.
It'll be in the 2024 vintage reissue line in the classic weapon card.
I'll buy it.
40th anniversary. Here it comes.
I'll buy it. I'll buy
the whole line and keep it in a box. But I've been trying to manifest that now for several years, so just let me keep making that happen in my brain.
So I will say it's not just Transformers that Hasbro is doing this with. So I'm holding up a toy right now. This is from Mandalorian Season 2, Miggs Mayfield, Bill Burr, action figure. Pretty decent head sculpt. I like it. My friend who's a big Bill Burr fan isn't too happy with it. But it's like, oh, cool. We get a Miggs Mayfield. You know, isn't my first choice in terms of what outfit I want him to wear. He looked cooler in Season 1, but, you know, they didn't give us that, and this is still kind of a cool design. You know, I'll pick it up. I'll grab it. You know, this toy's been out now. I think I've had it like 4 or 5 months. It was kind of hard to find at first, and now it's reached pretty heavy saturation point. And what did Hasbro announce last Tuesday in their Star Wars live stream? That they've got a Season 1 Mandalorian Miggs Mayfield in the pipeline. And it's like, you fuckers. You knew what you were doing. You've done it to me so many times in Transformers. I didn't see it coming.
And we fall for it every time.
We do. They are totally...
Same thing with Joe. Same thing with G.I. Joe. They whoopsied the classified line. Oh, we gave Roadblock a full beard and the wrong armor slightly, and Duke has funny colored elbow pads and gold highlights. Oh, whoopsie-doo. And everyone ran out and bought it. Not me. The 6-inch Joes aren't for me, so that was my first step in just, you know what, I'm not going to buy any of this shit. I'm just not.
You do need this toy.
But then
you do need.
I don't.
Okay, you don't need it.
I don't need the Alley Viper.
You don't need
I have the 3 3/4 Alley Viper from the Attack on Cobra Island 7-pack, and I am 100% happy with him. I think I have 2 or 3 of those actually.
You've got an Alley Viper in a box that you haven't opened. I
have an Alley Viper in a box I haven't opened. So there we go. You see. but yeah, they whoopsie doodled Roadblock, and then they released Roadblock, but now he's got goggles and a different gun, and then that's a different whatever, and they keep and now they're going to do retro Roadblock, but it's not quite 100% 6-inch original 1984 Roadblock, and it just keeps getting a little bit closer to because they know as soon as they hit that we've done it, then they have hit it and they've done it, and then no one's going to need a Roadblock anymore, so they have to keep dancing around it, and they've done it for Joe, they've done it for Transformers, they've done it for Star Wars for 50 years, and we fall for it every time. We all run out and buy the new Blitzwing or the new Titans Return Astro Train, knowing that looks rough. And we run out and we get it, and then we go okay, and then they've released 2 different Astro Trains. They released them in Siege and then immediately in Earthrise. Is that right? I think that was right.
Yeah, same thing like Blaster.
And the same toy, but yeah.
Same, and that one's the same exact deco and everything. Yeah. That's just like 100% package swap. And then
they did that
Galvatron
with more of Cybertron. Galvatron is different.
Yeah. Galvatron is different and Blaster is different. From Kingdom to Legacy, Blaster's in a different deco.
Slightly.
Different grays, different reds. Yep. But for those who are into the brighter Blaster, then you have him, And the lack of space mud
is to participate in that dance a lot less. I went hunting for the Target sale, yesterday, and I saw that Galvatron. I was like, I could get that, and he would be like 40 instead of 50 because it's 10 off 50. Like, yay! But then I was like, does $40 care about space mud? Like, I know I hate it, but like, it doesn't. I mean, I don't care. If I really care that much, I'll take it off my current one by myself. I can do that.
Or you just do what any sane person would and buy the new one and, toy swap your Space Mud one and return it. Come on, Christian.
No, don't do that. That's
don't
theft.
Do that. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. But yeah, I'm kind of done with incremental things. Siege to Earthrise really woke me up to that because that whole transition was pointless. And now it's like, well, yeah, now I have the Sideswipe that I've wanted. And I had to upgrade from Siege to Kingdom to that one. But now it's like, do I need another Sideswipe, or is that the one that I want to go with? That's the one I want to go with.
Even if you roll it back further to Universe 2.0, like Classics to Universe 2.0 to Thrilling 30 to,
what?
We've gotten the same batches of characters, and I'm tired of Sideswipes. I love Ironhide and Ratchet. I love Ratchet. He's my guy.
My gauge for that has been, can I get a cohesive 1984 Autobots crew? The answer has never been yes, up until almost now. I mean, there's 3 more characters.
Gears, Windcharger, and
Brawn.
We haven't gotten a Brawn yet? Oh, we haven't gotten a Brawn yet. Nope.
And then I would take a new Hound over the Siege one. But if I had to keep Siege, it would be cohesive enough. But before, I assembled that crew over the course of 10 years with Classics and Universe and Generations and Henkei.
You and everybody else.
And they kind of they didn't go together. This group goes together. And then broader, the 85 guys go with it. The Decepticons all go with it. Everything that fits in that aesthetic is now what I'm displaying. And that's what I want. I don't want to switch to another aesthetic. Legacy still blends in with it, which is great. Way more than Siege blended in with the Prime Wars trilogy. So this feels like this is what they're doing. And when they stop doing that, maybe I will be done. Or not, done. In quotes.
Soft done.
Done. This is what I want my collection to look like. They look almost like they walked out of the cartoon, but updated a little. They don't look so radically different like Classics and Universe and Generations did. And this is what I want. This is what I've wanted the whole time. And when they're not doing that anymore, I guess I'll be soft done. Yes.
Like Zaldron just said, Zaldron just said in the chat, good luck trying to get me to buy a new iteration of G1 Prime after the Earthrise toy. And it's really, really hard to argue with that. I don't know what they could do.
You could do things with the deco, and they could fix the trailer. But aside from that,
it's minor.
The Prime, they're minor. Yeah, those are minor things, and a lot of people fix those themselves.
Full different colors, not color adjustments. I'd buy that. I'm getting the laser one. That's the same character, but different, form, Power Master form. I'd get that. If they want to do something that was an homage to the Action Master vehicle, I would do that. Otherwise,
but I think to his point is just a straight up G1.
Yeah, straight up G1 Optimus. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I agree with what Zaldrun said about Siegehound, which is what you said about Siegehound. We need a new
Earth mode.
Siegehound.
And if it was the lighter color, that would be nice too.
But Siegehound was clearly made as a pre-tool for all the things that he did come into, but not as many things as they could have done with him. You know, they did
other thing.
Yeah, the Gen selects Hotshot.
And then they did Detritus. Oh wait,
I think they did the Netflix Hound, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did the Netflix
Detritus,
Hound in a slightly
boss.
Yeah.
Not boss. Sorry.
Yeah.
Scorch. Republic Commandos
and the
Turbo Masters being different colors and the same names.
The Netflix Hound had mud on the bottom half, and one of them had more mud on the bottom, and one had more mud on the top. But their greens were different, so you couldn't like part swap them into a perfect hound. It was like, hey, you know what? They fumbled it.
I did make
and so I have
Cybertron overhaul.
Yeah,
that was fun.
And those characters need more love. That would have sold. They could have done that. Just slap some claws on his arm and good to go.
That's what I did. And we thought the Cybertron defense team was coming with Impactor and Double Dealer being Scattershot and Red Alert. Nope. That was disappointing. I feel betrayed by that.
But it might still happen after they push Cybertron Metroplex. We don't know. And things like that keep me hoping and wanting and thinking and just like engaged. But at the same time, now I'm wishing for homages for toys that weren't bad to begin with.
And I think
that's the issue.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where you don't like Bulkhead, right?
That's where I absolutely don't like Bulkhead. I love first edition Bulkhead. And yeah. I'm not big on Prime toys anyway. I didn't like the Prime cartoon as much as I thought I would. It got better. But overall it didn't stick. They pushed, and then I was floored and insulted that they pushed that for the 10-year anniversary, whatever, instead of giving Animated any sort of recognition on its anniversary. That just boggled the mind. And then, I don't know. I'm just kind of just sour on Transformers right now. Machine Robo's cool.
If you say so, Peter.
I think, Peter, one of the things that I somewhat agree with you on is that it's getting a little bit tired. There's fewer characters that when I see come out that I get super excited about. Certainly Kickback is one that I'm excited to get. The new Wild Rider toy, that looks exciting to me. The new Blitzwing is like, okay, you got 3 modes on this dude and you only got one right.
I like them all.
I'm fine with the Blitzwing because he's as clunky as he was in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what they're going for. He's a
great.
stumpy little plane. He's a tank with a plane part hanging out, and he's Blitzwing. I wish both the Decepticon triple changers that they've done so far were a little bit bigger.
Yes.
Because they were the toys were smaller, but the characters were a little bit bigger on the show. But whatever. I'm fine with it.
Scale is weird. It's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like how thick his wings are for the new Blitzwing. I'm good with thick wings. He was the only triple changer I had as a kid, so I enjoyed his thick wings. Obviously, whenever you're talking about these jet transformers, you're either going to have like a backpack transformer or a backpack jet like the aerial bots, or parts forming like the Seekers had, or just a thick boy like Thunder. Like Blitzwing was. And but the new Blitzwing is my brain keeps translating Blitz to Thunder. No, Blitz is lightning. Duh. Okay. Anyways, he's just a little too thick in the wings for me. And then those fists, the Energon missile fists, is just like
those are the dumbest thing.
It's so bad.
I'm never going to use them. They're not coming out of the package.
So bad.
But it makes you wonder. I mean, we already know that they're having those Energon weapons for the rest of Legacy, and the weapons combine and do different things and whatever. But people are already speculating, what if they're going to do a new Nexus Maximus or an Energon Combiner homage? Woo! And that's fun to talk about, but I don't care. Those weren't great to begin with.
No.
I get new versions of those.
Unlike Laser Prime, the Energon Combiners would be an improvement if they were to do new versions of them. This Laser Prime is a lesser version. in my opinion. If you just throw some ankle tilts, I think we talked about that while we were all muted last week. If you just throw some ankle tilts and some wrist swivels on the original Gen 2 Laser Prime, perfect toy.
Yeah, he doesn't blend with what I have now, so I'm happy to get this new one.
That's fair.
I'm at a point in my collection where I'm not collecting individual pieces very much anymore. I am building the whole thing. So if it contributes to the whole thing, it can come join me. If it's, a standalone individual thing, I'm okay, usually. There's an exception. I have a rather large ooth that I'd like to show off later this week that I think you guys will like, but very much the exception rather than the rule.
And I think that's where I'm happy with what they've done, Christian, to what you were saying in terms of the scale and keeping the scale consistent from the War for Cybertron line into Legacy. It scales decently with the Combiner Wars trilogy. It's not terrible, but it's not perfect for some of them. But again, what they've been doing for close to 10 years now is keeping a fairly consistent scale. And that's fun to see where you can build those guys out. And, occasionally you will get just a brand new character, not brand new, but a brand new version of a character that we haven't gotten in maybe 30 years. And I want more of that.
Iguanas.
I got my iguanas yesterday. I'm very happy with him. He comes with carries on the iguanas tradition of a weapon that you just have no idea what the hell that is. My G1 iguanas, like I understood from the instructions that was like the wheels for the motorcycle, but then you put it in the Pretender Shell's hand, like I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is supposed to be. And then the new iguanas, he's got like, I know it's supposed to be the middle part of that sword, but when you just put it in his hand, it's like this is a gun. Yay, shoot, I guess.
Iguanas is a weird guy. But it's toys like him and toys like Fangry that make me think that there will always be something for me to come back to get. They'll release, Sideswipe, Kickback, Bumblebee, and like Crossblades in a wave. I don't need those first three, but I'll grab that Crossblades every time.
Yeah.
But Crossblades won't show up in a wave. Crossblades will show up in a 4-pack with 3 things you don't need, and then we will be like those rabid weirdos that only want the Fangry, only want the Crossblades, and then there's a run for this one set while other things languish on shelves and don't sell at all. Looking at you, Cup and Blur, movie characters who should sell better.
I've been doing this for so long, and you guys too. Like, if that happens and when it happens, it's like, yeah, I can deal with all of that. It's not a huge deal. I'm glad that I can deal with that. I'm glad I have the experience I have, and I'm glad I have the capital I have to invest in this sort of thing. But like, it's not a big deal to me when that happens. Like, okay, 3 things I don't want to get, 1 thing I do. Okay, that doesn't happen often. It happens maybe once or twice a year. Whatever, I'll deal with it. I'm building the whole.
I've come to really enjoy multi-packs because I've gotten really good with the multi-packs. It's like, I just want the one dude, and I'm going to put the rest on eBay, and now my one dude was like $5. So
that's true. You sold me a bee I needed for a custom.
Yeah. And then I went and bought another pack of that because I'm like, dang, I really kind of like this bee.
It's a good bee. I almost bought another one because I used both of them for customs. And I was like, it looks really pretty.
Yeah.
I just kept the one I had.
I just sold my loose Nemesis Primal just this weekend. Like, as I was putting them in the packaging, I hadn't looked at them in a while. Like, oh, I actually liked you a lot better than the regular Optimus Primal from Kingdom.
I am hopeful that it will be easier to get the 4-pack this year. Pulse listed the Buzzworthy Silver Streak a couple weeks ago. It's still available to get. That, to me, indicates that they're going to do some Buzzworthy stuff. They had Silver Streak, and they had Cup and Cliff Jumper and B-127. Oh, they'll probably get the 4-pack this year. That seems like a thing that will happen.
Yeah, last year's 4-pack was so bizarre where it just, no announcement, just showed up. Someone local in Chicago found it first at a Walmart, of all places, and there was a whole lot of weirdness with that set.
Yeah. Should be more organized this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I had fun with that set. I'd like to see more of it. I kept 2 of the toys, sold 2 of the other ones. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for multi-packs. Marvel Legends does a ton of multi-packs, and I think that's where I've gotten very adept at just like, I like 2 of these guys, and the other 4, you're going to pay for me to keep the other 2. So.
All I'm saying is that I like getting new characters that we haven't seen before, and I will continue doing that for my collection. Peter, I feel like you'll probably do something similar, and
I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just annoyed that a lot of the things that I'm going to want.
Yep. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I have a set of the Spice World and the regular Spice Girls out in the garage. That's where I have a bunch of shit.
Wait, what?
Did
you kidnap women?
Someone at some point said when Ginger quit the band that they were going to be like, oh, these are going to be $1 million. And I was working at Target. And I was like, all right, I'll buy a set of these. Whoop, and I'll buy a set of those. Whoop. And they're in their shipping cases in a tote out there with, I think, my Pee-wee stuff.
I just like the idea of you actually kidnapping women, because the headline for sure would be Florida man kidnaps Spice Girls.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a Florida man headline just waiting to happen.
Yes, it is. But I won't stop buying things, especially if they put a horrible in a 24 pack that's $3,000 and you have to go to Tibet to get it and okay, I guess we're going to Tibet. It's on my list. Shit, let's go.
I'll be right with you. I will go with you.
Road trip!
Here we go.
We'll split the cost of the hotel together. And then we'll procure it for the rest of our friends.
Yeah. We'll all we'll split the cost of the Sherpa.
Destron World Adventures.
I've had Yep.
So one thing that's kind of come up a couple times is animated was fun. Like, animated did a bunch of all these characters, but they look different. I really like Transformers Prime, and they did a bunch of these characters, but they look different. So
they are different.
They are, yeah. And so I think that's where, and I think that's where my hope is that we get more of that with Earthspark. Give us a new look. Give us something different. The Prime and Elita 1 are there, but that's a chunky Prime, and it's a very specific animation style, and I dug that with Cyberverse too. So I think some of those things allow, some of those redesigns, some of those stylistic specific interpretations allow these characters to be repurchased and not feel that sentiment of, I've got the perfect version of this, I don't need another one.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Probably. But I know I don't need kidified things for my collection. Peter, I think that's what you're saying too, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Unless this cartoon knocks it way out of the park and I'm just like, I've got to have toys of these versions of these characters. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I have a feeling it's going to be a role play wrist thing, and you're going to talk into it, and it's going to make the robot talk or something like, you know what I mean? Like that sort of interactive role play where you can download the app and have fun with your Earthspark Transformers on the Apple Store or whatever.
Don't forget to ask your parents' permission.
Yeah, exactly. Which is great for kids that want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that I feel has lessened some of my interest in the Transformers brand, is that there's two distinct sets of toys that come out these days. There is the toy line and the fiction for kids, and then there's the toy line and fiction for the collector. And the toy line for the collector is fun. The fiction lately has sucked. And I want some of the ideas that are there and the newness that comes from the kids toy line, from the kids fiction, but adult collector toy line level toys. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because even the second RID, there were some cool designs in that. Especially all the Decepticons had really cool designs. Thunderhoof was freaking awesome. But we never got a great toy of him. We got okay toy of him.
We got okay toys of everything in Cyberverse, or I'm sorry, RID-15, RID-15 was fun and chunky for little hands and little play.
And I think Hasbro missed the mark of not putting a couple of those out in more higher quality toys for a collector audience. And maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll get that as a 10-year anniversary of RID-15. I don't know. But in the past, we were getting, with Transformers Animated, you got a kid-friendly fiction, G1 characters with new designs, and a toy line that had kid-friendly stuff in that toy line, but you also got collector-level toys that were pretty badass. So I don't know. To me, that should be the model. Prime did a pretty good job of it. But those two lines to me are the model of what I'd like to see from a new Transformers fiction / toy line.
I think what we're seeing is the post Revenge of the Fallen split in what goes where. Revenge of the Fallen had a big backlash from parents that it was too complicated for kids, but it was like an amazing collector line for all of us. Like just incredible designs, really awesome toys, and it just nailed it. But a lot of the kids can't mess with. Like you give a kid Optimus Prime from that line, that's never transforming. It can't do it. It's very complex.
Wasn't it? It was Siebenaller was waving the instructions, like the giant sheet of instructions around at one of the shows, like, this isn't fun for kids, and he threw the instructions.
And so after that, you see things that are simpler for kids, and then the collecting stuff remain kind of for us. And it's nice. We could go the route of, I don't know, we'll say Motu, I guess. That's the most I know, where there's like one thing, and you get the one thing. Well, even though they have 2 or 3 things now, right? I don't know.
Motu has like 3 different lines running at the same time. They've got the Revelation line, which is like super collector oriented for the adult grim dark cartoon, and then the fun kid cartoon toys that are fun, which that cartoon's fun too.
Yeah. It's just nice that
if you like Ram Mam, then you're gonna get a Ram Mam toy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There was a time when Hasbro told us at BotCon that we didn't matter as much. There wasn't enough of us to account for, what our own pieces. And now we are, or I guess it seems that way. Who knows if that's what the market research really bears out? But it looks like it, right? You got kid stuff, you got collector stuff. 2 lines of collector stuff.
Well, I mean, a lot of the movie stuff is movie stuff would split it out, and you had like the super advanced fun, for collectors, the grown-up line, and then you had like not just fast action battlers with their spinning blades and launching missiles on strings or whatever, but you'd have like the fold me down and I pop up line, and the pull me back and I spark a doodly doo line, and the with power bots, which were just non-transforming chunky things that you would like a kid would. I'm devastated.
Perfect sandbox toy.
I think there's room for all of that. I really do. It's just nice that we have our own segment and that we don't have to resort to just those kiddie toys. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of that stuff didn't sell. A lot of the collector-y stuff sold out and was gone and didn't languish. But Power Bots Devastator and Power Bots Bend Me Over Action Optimus Prime or whatever, I literally fold in half into a truck and like gun wrist pull thing Starscream pow pow. Those things sat or got ripped open in stores and went out on clearance because kids played with them in stores and destroyed them, at least locally.
I
don't know.
Florida men have to come from Florida kids, Peter, so.
This was in Colorado. Okay. I was living in Colorado at the time. But I know that as the movies went on, the collector-y lines continued, but the plethora of child junk super diminished, and then they flipped. Sorry, choking. Then they flipped it on Bumblebee, and like Bumblebee was nothing but chunky kid stuff.
And it still
was bizarre.
A lot of it.
It was just a small.
All that it was.
Yeah. It was the whole line was just that, and it wasn't a lot. Yeah, I think it was like 56 pieces total if you include all the role play and package variants.
I wasn't even thinking it was that large, so that's good, I guess. I don't know.
There were like the glasses and the RC cars, and just there was merch. I'm just counting all the merch too.
So I think we're getting close to the end here, and it just sounds like there is frustration in the brand from, the collector community is feeling maybe a little burnout. I think we know what we want to see to help us get out of that burnout. But in some cases, the burnout can be a good thing because it can lead us to reevaluate what we really want, in our collections. And, I don't know. I'm definitely scaling back. Although Christian and Lucas and Anna talked me into getting the Legacy Bulkhead, and I dig them. And I dig what I've seen out of Wild Rider. I dig what I've seen out of Shattered Glass Blaster. So I'm certainly not done, but I also think I'm going to be selling a lot more of my older stuff that I just, have gotten better versions of. So that's where I stand. Peter, I'm glad to hear that you are, happy about making this change, and I hope the FOMO doesn't grip you, because there's always going to be something that you won't have, and it's just like, I'd rather see you, like, if you're interested in a toy, let me know. I'll ship you mine, and you can play with it for a week and mail it back to me. I won't charge any rental fees, just postage, and that way you can rent the toys, because neither is a great collecting habit, which is you, Peter, buying every single thing and holding on to it till forever, or the person who buys it, spends retail price, and then sells it, 2 years later, probably for a lot less than they paid. At least you, Peter, are more likely to get a return on your investment because enough of what you bought appreciated, versus the person who sells it 6 months later. Maybe not. There's a decent amount of.
It depends. Not a single thing I've ordered from Pulse. Speaking about Shattered Glass, not a single thing I ordered from Pulse did not come completely destroyed. So my mitten package, whatever it was, for fans, we're doing it for the fans and the families, Hasbro just wrecked everything right out of the gate. Shipping boxes are fine, mostly. It's smashed before it goes in. It's lovely. Thanks, Hasbro.
Let me know the next time that happens, and if I have not received mine yet, and I get mine in good condition, I'll swap it because I open most of my dudes. Yeah,
that works.
So, no, I mean, again, I hope you don't feel like a switch on this, and if you do decide to go back to collecting everything, that's your own decision. Just I hope you don't feel like you have to in order to stay up on a certain list. And like you said, go out on top.
Yay! I like robots, you guys. I'm gonna buy other stuff.
Yeah. You when you said you have all this mask stuff, are you saying you have all this mask stuff and you're happy with it? Or do you have all this mask stuff and you don't know why you have all this mask stuff? Because I might want some of those mask things off of you. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
We'll talk. Like I have no connection to the split second stuff. I just and the racing series stuff is hit or miss. If it showed up in the cartoon, I want it. But some of the designs are crap. Like Razorback. Is so
Razorback's bad, but Goliath, Goliath is fun.
Goliath is good.
Volcano is good. Yeah, those are the two.
Yeah.
The other night I wasn't feeling well and couldn't fall asleep, and I was watching an old Mask cartoon. Like, oh, this is bad. This is bad.
Don't watch the racing series.
That's what it was. That's the one it was. It was with Ali Bombay and what's his name on the iguana and it was not good. But what is Ali Bombay's motorcycle? It's the red, white, and blue motorcycle.
Typhoon.
Okay. No.
Hurricane, something like that.
I don't know.
Not Hurricane. Hurricane's the 57 Bel Chevy or whatever.
But anyways, that red, white, and blue motorcycle was one of my first mass toys, and I still absolutely love that toy. That's an amazing design. So we're getting off topic. Christian, any final thoughts? Go ahead.
Lester Sledge.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
On Iguana. Lester
Yeah,
Christian
Max.
is fighting.
Yeah,
confused,
guys. Woo.
There's a third-party company that's making new mask toys.
Good for them.
Yeah, ramen toys. So, Christian, any final parting thoughts on your end?
Peter, I'm happy that you're making this change. I would have been happy if you didn't make this change. I'm just happy you're happy. Whatever's best for you.
Thank you.
So we got book club coming up. I think it's on Sunday. I don't know if they maybe not be doing book club because of Easter. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. There's going to be a oof / microcasters on Thursday, of which Christian has teased something pretty darn cool. So as soon as we get off the air, I'm going to ask him what it is, and I'll know, and the rest of you will have to tune in on Thursday to find out. And I think thanks everyone for participating. Transformatics, Paul Freemail, Zaldron, Anna, Catherine. Who else was jumping in there? I think Ron at the start there. If I missed anyone, I sincerely apologize. Jake jumping in a couple comments there. So yeah, if I missed anyone, it's not intentional. Space Boy G78. I miss our Russian bot friends. We haven't got any Russian bot friends in a while with their racist commentary. So and according to Zaldron, holidays don't affect book clubs. So thanks everyone for jumping in. Peter, Christian, thanks for sharing your thoughts. And for those folks specifically who are part of the cast who've been going through some stuff, just know that we love you and fuck cancer. And we love you and we love your family, man. All right. Now I'm going to try and end this and hope I can get it to go. Everyone wave bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.